Good morning, friends. I'm Dewey, and my Tech Talk topic for today is ATSC 3.0, also known as NextGen TV. It's part two. I did part one last week, and if you have a special interest in this new TV standard that's coming for broadcast TV, you can go back and look at last week's show. Anyway, going on, last Monday I introduced our TFS followers to a new, much higher quality over-the-air broadcast TV, or antenna TV, standard that began its slow rollout more than a year ago and may take another 5 or more years to be fully implemented in the U.S. This new OTA standard, broadcast standard, is officially known as ATSC 3.0. It's promoted by the ATSC, which is the Advanced TV Systems Committee, under the name of NextGen TV. By the way, this committee is worldwide, not only in the U.S. While more stations are broadcasting in 3.0 now than a year ago, the vast majority are still in an experimental phase, and the major TV networks haven't yet committed to certain features such as 4K and on-demand video. Compatible hardware also remains expensive and scarce. Dave Arland, a spokesman for the ATSC standards body, recently acknowledged that 3.0 NextGen TV is still in its very, very early days as per the standards, but it is going rapidly. NextGen TV promises stunning video with brilliant color, sharper images, and deeper contrast that will make you feel like you're really there, and movie theater quality sound lets you hear every voice clearly. It's also capable of 4K and HDR picture resolutions and Dolby Atmos and DTS:X audio. If you're into sound, you'll know what that is. 3.0 is the first overhaul to the ATSC standard for over-the-air TV since the group first introduced 1.0 in 1996. 1.0 was the technology that finally took hold in June 2009, ushering in the switch from analog to digital TV that topped out at 1080p high-definition resolution. NextGen TV is a whole new ballgame that's expected to significantly revive interest in broadcast TV. And here's the reason. NextGen TV is antenna TV that is supplemented by and enhanced with internet content to get the most out of live sports, news, live events, and more. It's important that you realize it's both internet and antenna. Yet we need to stay grounded in the realization that in both the broadcast TV and internet sides of NextGen TV, there's still a host of technologies that need to be developed and implemented by networks and broadcasters to make it all happen. One example is a feature that will enable local broadcast TV stations to personalize their shows with interactive features called haptics. So what is haptics? Haptics is digitally created touch feedback to create touch sensations primarily accessed on a mobile device. While watching NextGen TV, viewers can interact with their smartphone or other device's touchscreen, like when typing on their virtual keyboard. As a part of 3.0 NextGen TV, haptics brings new potential for enhanced mobile viewing experiences. For example, Ed and his wife, Mary, are both huge TV fans. At the start of the game, their TV notifies them that the game is also available through a dedicated app on their smartphones with customizable haptic options. Ed and Mary both launched the app and proceed to select their haptic experiences. Ed loves the haptic-enabled game actions, hits on the quarterback, sacks, tackles, interceptions, and so forth. Mary likes haptics for major game events, touchdowns, field goals, and so forth, and as their TV screen and their mobile devices synchronously provides the game. Haptics provide an additional layer of entertainment and sensory immersion that goes beyond traditional viewing. As NextGen TV is rolled out in various markets in the US and worldwide, the demand for leveraging its full capabilities is bound to increase. Immersion.com is one of the companies working with broadcasters to integrate haptics RP RP stands for recommended practices, and enable mobile devices to take advantage of the haptic-enabled content screen. Our present 1.0 broadcast system is slated to remain in place for 5 years. This means that 3.0 programming must be essentially the same, except for programming features that are based on the enhanced capabilities of 3.0. Most pre-2021 TVs will either need an external 3.0 tuner or be replaced with TVs that have both the 3.0 and backwards compatible 1.0 tuner. Currently, LG, Samsung, and Sony have a good selection of 4K and 8K TVs that are so equipped. Regarding 4K TVs, as larger size TVs become popular, the old 1080p 1K resolution of 1920 by 1080 pixels simply became inadequate in terms of clarity. It's because of the large screens. 4K TVs restore clarity by doubling the resolution of 1080p, which means they quadruple the number of pixels. 8K TV doubles those numbers again to a resolution of 7680 by 4320. Wow. Virtually every TV 50 inches or larger bought today has 4K resolution, and many smaller sets are 4K as well. Now, as screen sizes, which are diagonally measured, increase to 90 inches and beyond, 8K resolution TVs have become more important to provide top quality clarity. NextGen TV standards are expected to embrace this new higher 8K resolution TV as more and more people purchase them. If you're wondering how Lowcast, the nearly free streaming service that provides over-the-air broadcast channels to more than 30 U.S. urban market areas, fits into the NextGen TV picture, I'm not able to really envision any problems. For example, Lowcast covers the greater Phoenix TV market area. There are already a dozen Phoenix, Arizona TV broadcasters who have launched or are launching NextGen TV in that market area, market-wide, as a model for the TV industry. It's the Phoenix model. Here's a graphic listing of these stations. You have Channel 5 CBS, the Channel 8 series, public TV, Fox Fox Network Channel 10, and NBC, the Peacock on 12, Univision Arizona, which I don't watch much, ABC 15, and then there's an extra Fox Network channel on channel 45, and finally the CW 61. By the way, CW doesn't stand for Country and Western Music. It stands for an affiliation between CBS and Warner Brothers. This has got me to think. We watch these channels on a 4K TV at our place in Silveridge and Mesa. If the price of outboard TV 3.0 tuners starts dropping in the next year, perhaps I'll buy one to enjoy the higher quality picture of these Phoenix channels, especially my favorite KAET Arizona Public TV. Then I'll bring it to our suburban Twin Cities, Minnesota home in the spring with the expectation that TPT, that's Twin Cities Public Television, and other local Twin Cities stations will soon be up and running with their NextGen 4K broadcasts. Sounds like a plan. By the way, near-term 3.0 coverage goal for the U.S. is 62 markets that reach an estimated 75% of the country's population. As of March 2021, NextGen TV was on the air in 25 U.S. markets, with another 4 markets waiting for FCC approval of their applications. Standalone tuner boxes that you can connect to any TV will soon be on the market, with one already available, the HD Home Run Connect 4K. It's a $200 network model with an antenna input that connects to your router, not to your TV, but your router. Perhaps you've wondered, since NextGen TV uses the internet to provide extraordinary audio and other special enhancements, must you always be internet connected when watching the new NextGen TV? Well, the answer is no. Using just your antenna and a 3.0 enabled TV, you'll be able to watch your local NextGen TV stations broadcast with the new 3.0 standard. However, you'll miss out on the highly enhanced audio effects that will begin to roll in. This is my presentation for today, and I'm gonna stick with it. Thanks for watching. Stay safe and have a great day.
Ron Brown with Tech for Seniors. Virtual Reality for Seniors, Part 2, the Hardware. Let's have a look. Now, you know the routine. If you like this video, please click the like, and I would sure appreciate it if you would subscribe to the channel. It really helps us, and it helps other people wanting to see these videos. Thanks again. Let's get on with the show. Now, if you go to Best Buy and you want to buy a virtual reality machine, you'll have three choices. And these are the three choices we're going to talk about today, starting with the PlayStation. This is Sony's PlayStation VR. This is a very popular device. It's $349 at Best Buy. Now, the only problem is that you have to have a PlayStation to be able to use this. This is just for the headset. Now, I'm not sure I know a lot of seniors that use the Sony PlayStation, but it is extremely popular. Sony's entry level into the market is the lowest powered of these three. But the PlayStation has a big advantage over the Quest 2 and Vive. Because it's tethered to the PlayStation gaming system, there is an enormous pre-existing user base of tens of millions of gamers, many of whom are eager to try their hands at virtual reality. Because of the user database that the PS4 had, Sony's customers didn't have to purchase or upgrade computer hardware to make the PlayStation virtual reality headset the most affordable of the high-end HMDs, or head-mounted displays. As such, the PlayStation Virtual Reality is the best-selling virtual reality headset on the market, moving over 4 million units since its initial release, and showing that, if nothing else, VR gaming is here to stay. So this is, for sure, if you do have a PlayStation, this is a very easy way to get into virtual reality, with the software and hardware being on the PlayStation 5. Again, these are the prices at Best Buy. You'll see that the headset is $349 and the PlayStation is just under $500, which makes it just under $900 for the combination headset and PlayStation. All right, let's talk about the HTC Vive. Here is an example of the Vive Cosmo Elite. This is different than the Oculus Quest in that it has two external components. You'll see those two boxes by the headset and two controllers. Now, the HTC Vive has been one of the best-selling virtual reality headsets on the market since its consumer release back in 2018. And the Vive has been locked in fierce competition with the Oculus Quest since its release. So the two are sort of battling it out, as both headsets are aimed at the top end of the virtual reality market. But I will tell you that the HTC Vive distinguishes itself on a couple of issues. The first is the screen resolution is probably a bit better than the Oculus, as well as the speed. So if you look at the top gamers who are really into virtual reality, they are tending to purchase the HTC Vive or the Cosmos Elite as their choice. But it distinguishes itself quite a bit from the Oculus on two issues. The first is price. You'll see that this is Best Buy prices, and you can buy the Vive Cosmos as a package for around $700 US. If you want just the headset, then it's just under $600. The problem is this is not a standalone unit. you have to tether this to a PC. So this is, and that's the second big distinguisher from the Oculus. The Oculus is a standalone computer. You do not need to connect it, but you do need to connect it. The HTC Vive, you do need to connect to a computer, and it works through the computer. So you need a gaming computer in addition to the hardware that I've just discussed. All right, this is the Oculus Quest 2. This is the one that I own, and you'll see me up in the left-hand corner of the screen. You'll see that it comes with a headset and 2 hand controllers, and we'll talk a little bit about that in a minute. This is what you'll find in the box. You'll find on the left-hand side, you'll see that there are the 2 controllers, and you'll see the headset along with a charging cable. When you take it out of the box on the right-hand side, you'll see that there is a glass protector, which we'll talk about in a minute, the 2 controllers, and the head-mounted display. Now, there are 2 versions of the Oculus Quest. When you go to Best Buy to buy this, you'll find that there is one for $299 and one for $399. Now, this is the deal of a lifetime because these are standalone computers. You do not need a PC to run this. You don't need to connect it to your PC. You can do this all by initiating it through a cell phone if you want. And because it's heavily subsidized by Facebook, you'll find that it is extremely cheap. So when I say that you're going to buy a unit for $299, yes, that is it. These are standalone units. You'll be able to do all the virtual reality you want. It includes the software, the charging cables, and the 2 controllers, all for $299. And when you go to Best Buy, you're going to see that there are 2 versions. There's a version for $299 and $399. Let me say that these are exactly the same machines. They have the same processor in them. Everything about these 2 devices is the same, except for how much memory is in there. And the $299 one has 64 gigabytes of memory. The $399 one has 256 gigabytes of memory. So what's the difference? Well, it depends on how much memory you're going to need to play the games or the applications that you want. Let me tell you that I have the one for $299 or 64 gigabytes. It's perfectly adequate for the amount of applications that I want to play. So I don't really think, unless you have a lot of experience with VR and plan on putting a tremendous amount of games on there, I don't think that to spend the extra $100 is really worthwhile initially when you start. One important feature is you cannot upgrade the memory on these. So what you got is what you got. So if you do think you might want more memory, then spend the extra $100 and get the $399 version. The first question that I often get asked is, what if you wear glasses? I wear glasses. How do these headsets work with glasses? Well, there are really 2 types of people that wear glasses. Those are who are farsighted or short-sighted, and these individuals usually have had glasses all their lives. Then there's people like myself who have presbyopia. This is where you just need reading glasses as you get older because a lot of things start to wear out, right? So those of you who have presbyopia, such as myself, I didn't find that I needed my glasses in the virtual reality experience. So you may want to try it without glasses. There is a glass protector so that your glasses can't actually touch the lens, and you'll see that in the top right-hand corner. So if you do require, if you're short-sighted or far-sighted, or you find that you do need virtual reality, your glasses in the headset, you can indeed wear them. In fact, the lenses, which you'll see on the bottom right, can actually be taken out, and your optometrist can actually grind the lenses to fit your refraction, and some people do this. So glasses are really not an obstacle to virtual reality. Now, I often get asked, what about hearing aids? Well, part of the immersive experience of virtual reality is, of course, being able to hear the stereo sound. And you'll see on the left-hand side, you'll see that there's two speakers, one on each side. You'll hear them just by your ear there, and you will see them on the as part of the strap. It's very good sound. I have never had a problem with it. It was really pretty darn good. However, if you want more, or you're having trouble with hearing, then you're able to actually connect a headset through an audio output jack, as you'll see on the right-hand side. And this is a headset that is being plugged in and is used in addition to the speakers. There is no Bluetooth connection to earbuds and other devices like that. So this is a plug-in device that would be plugging in an existing headset. Now, in addition to purchasing your Oculus Quest, there's always a lot of questions about aftermarket devices that you can add to your existing headset. One of the big discussions that you'll have is the strap that comes with the Oculus Quest. As you'll see in this picture here, the Oculus Quest comes with the front-mounted headset, and then the strap goes over top of your head and connects at the back. This is like a Velcro strap that really works fine. You will find, though, that the headset is a little bit heavier in the front, and it doesn't quite balance on your head. So there is a lot of aftermarket devices made, and Oculus actually has an Oculus Quest 2 strap, which is it's a fixed piece of plastic, I guess, that comes around the side, and you have actually a device to turn at the back of your head that can tighten or loosen the strap up. So instead of having a floppy Velcro thing, you have sort of more of a permanent mounted device, and you can control how tight you want it by simply dialing the circle at the back. I did purchase this. I like it. I think it's fine. And it was $49. And this is available at Best Buy, or there are a lot of other companies that make devices like this to add on to your Oculus Quest. Now, the Oculus Quest 2 is a clear winner. It is heavily subsidized at $299. It is a standalone device. You don't need any other equipment to have a great virtual reality experience. You can tether it to your PC and play games like Flight Simulator, and all you'll need is a cable of about $30 to connect it. And this week they announced a major update to the Oculus Quest software that's even going to let you do this all through a wireless connection. So lots of new things coming as well. Now, my advice is this: give it a try, and if you get hooked on virtual reality, that's great. If it's not for you, give it to your grandchildren, because you will be known as the greatest grandparents ever. You know, all those sweaters you knit them and all those great dinners you bought them, they'll never remember that, but they will remember the day you gave them an Oculus Quest. Stay tuned to part 3, and we're going to talk about the software that's available and how you might use it as a senior with virtual reality. Ron Brown with Tech for Seniors.
One of the difficulties many people have when beginning to work with a Chromebook, or even those that are experienced with a Chromebook, don't always know or weren't taught or didn't discover how the file structure works and how to manage their files within a Chromebook. I am going to try to shed some light on that today. What we're going to do first is open up our Files program. So what we're going to do here is click here, and what we want is the Files. And so when I click on that, we now have our file manager that's built into a Chromebook. You'll notice a couple of things. On the left are all of the folders and drives and so on that are available to you on your Chromebook. On the right is whatever you're pointing to. You'll notice in between them, if you move your mouse between them, you'll see a double arrow. That double arrow allows you to make it larger or smaller. So if you're only seeing a small portion of your left-hand column, you might want to move it over so that you see everything that you want to see. So now we have recent audio, images, videos, and photos on our local machine, plus my files, which shows what's on my machine or on my Chromebook. Then it also shows me what's out on Google Drive. You'll notice there's a little arrow. We're going to go through some of these things, and we're going to move some files around so you can see how easy it is to do. And I'm also connected to my OneDrive, which is my Microsoft Cloud drive, so I can move files back and forth between Microsoft and between my Google and have access, so I can go to my PC and the files that I've been working on the Chromebook are available to me. I also have an SD slot in this particular Chromebook, and I have an SD card in there, and that's where I store, and you'll see there's an arrow there, and we'll take a look at that in just a moment as well. So I have some additional storage on an SD card within my Chromebook. And getting access to that and using that has gotten better with some of the later versions of the Chrome OS or operating system. So let's take a look at where our files are on our computer. So we're on my files right now, and this is showing what's on the drive that I have. In other words, in memory, on the storage section of my memory on my Chromebook. There's a folder called Downloads. We're going to take a look at that in just a minute. And there's also a playlist. And then there's some individual files that somehow got just in the general category. Most of the time when you either do a screen capture or that you download something, or you're going to say open up a PDF file, it downloads it first and then opens it. It's going to put it in that downloads folder by default. So let's take a look at the downloads folder that I have. I double click it, it opens it up. Or I could have, I'm going to come back here, I could come here to downloads and double click there, and it will open up on this side. Now, like most computers, whether it be a PC, a Mac, or any other device, and a lot of applications too, you have headings at the top, along the top here, date, modified, type, size, and name. You'll see an arrow here. That means it's alphabetical going up. If you click that one time, it makes it alphabetical going down. If you want to do it by size, you click there and you'll see it by size. The largest at the top, the smallest at the bottom, and you can reverse that as well. Same thing with type. It will put all those types of files together. You'll have an APK file, you'll have GIF files put together, JPEGs put together, and so on. And if you want to check it, okay, what's the last file that I did? Well, today at 11:06, I worked on this file, and 10:31 I worked on this file, so on. So I have it in order of that. But what I want to do it is, let's do it by name, and we're doing it up. We're doing it from the A's on down. So these are all of the files that are in my downloads. Now you have to remember, this downloads folder is local on your Chromebook. So if you power wash your Chromebook, these all disappear. This is the only thing that goes away, what's on your local drive. So periodically, you want to copy these over to your cloud storage, which is your Google Drive, usually, or you could copy them over to your OneDrive, or you could put them on the SD card. If you power wash, the SD card does not get wiped. So you need to back these up if you want to keep these. If you don't care, then you can just leave them in there until it starts filling up, and then you want to kind of make some room depending upon how much storage you have. On my particular Chromebook, I have 128 gigabytes of storage, so I don't use it all, and I have room to keep quite a few of these smaller files. You'll see that they're not very big. A lot of them are screen captures and so on, but sometimes I download a video to watch, and when I do that, it's a large file, so I may delete it, or I may move it somewhere. So let's say we want to take all of these JPEG, which are screenshots, right here at the top, and we want to put them over on our Google Drive. How do we do that? Well, first we need to go take a look at our Google Drive. We'll come over here, and you'll see when I click the little arrow, it now shows me what's on the Google Drive. There's My Drive, Shared with Me, and Offline. Let's look at My Drive. There's a little arrow there. When I click that, it shows me all of the folders that are on my Google Drive. Let's say we want to have one called Screenshots, and there's not one there. There's one called Old Screenshots, because that's what I was practicing with, and I renamed it, but I won't tell you that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over to My Drive. We'll click here. So now here on the right now is everything that's in My Drive. Now we're going to come over here to the three dots, which is More. We'll click on it. Notice the top one says New Window. Now we want to go to a new folder. We're going to create a new folder by clicking here. And now we have a new folder down here. Let's call this Screenshots. I just click outside of the box, and we now have a folder called Screenshots on My Drive, which is the Google Drive. Now let's come back over to Downloads. Now it's changed over here on the right, so we see what's in the Downloads folder. We'll go to the top. We're going to take this file, and we want to come down to this file. Now I could click each one of these, but you'll notice that it only highlights the one that I'm on. Now, if I hold the Control key down and then go to the next one, it now has checked 2 of them. If I come down to the next one, check 3 of them. But there's even an easier way, and this is true on a PC as well. And I don't know Macs, but I would imagine there's something similar. But if I click the first one, I'm going to move my mouse down to the last one, but I haven't clicked on anything. I hold the Shift key down and click there. It automatically will highlight from the beginning one to the end one and everything in between. So if you've got a long list of files you want to copy or move, you don't want to go to each one individually, you can do a complete list by holding the Shift key down. So we now have 5 files that we want to get over to our Google Drive so we don't lose them. We'll want to store them out on Google Drive, out on the cloud. So we're going to come down over on this side, and notice as I move it, nothing is changing on the right. We're not clicking on the left, we're just scrolling until we find the Screenshots folder, which is down here. I'm not going to click it. I'm just going to put it where it's close enough that when I drag from this side to this side, when I drag it over, I'm not going to lose it, and I'm not going to have to go searching for it. So I am going to click and hold my click. Notice it as I'm holding the click on the mouse, and if I was had my finger on it, I wouldn't take my finger off if I was going to do it on the touch screen. And I'm just going to bring it over, and I'm going to put it over here where it says Screenshots and drop it and let go. When I do it, it opens up Screenshots, and there they all are in the Screenshots folder. Now, what happened back up on our Downloads folder? They're still there. Because it's a different drive, it doesn't move them. By default, it copies them. Now, let's say we want to take one of these, and let's see, we've got some play files here. And just to practice, let's take one of these pictures, and we'll see that it's this one. And we're going to take it, and we're going to bring it down to Pictures and drop it. it's there. If we come back up to downloads, it's still there. So it doesn't move them, it only copies them. And so what you're going to want to do then is, if you either right mouse click or you can just highlight it, is we would then delete it from here. Are you sure you want to delete it? You click delete and it would be gone. So you can clear off the downloads folder one by one, or again, you could click the first one, hold the shift key down, click this one, they're all highlighted, and then we can come up and then go here, and then, so you could actually start at the first one, go all the way down to the bottom, hold the shift key down, click it, and then everything in your downloads folder, and then tell it delete it, and they'll all be gone. But you don't want to do that until you've saved them out or decided which ones you want to save, which ones you want to delete. Now, let's take a look at some of these others. Let's look at documents. There are some documents there. Now, what determines how they get in these, I have not really paid much attention to. And if I look at pictures, remember, we just moved one there, and then under that, I even have a folder called Hangouts. I'm not going to go there. I'm not sure what's in there. But you can look at different play files. Then again, at the top, you've got recent, so you can see all of your recent files here, but they may be in different places. They don't necessarily mean that they're where you want them to be, or where, if you want to move them. Now, can you move them? Well, let's take a look and see if we can. We'll take this one, and we'll say, okay, we want to put it in pictures. So we're going to take, actually, not, when I say move, I mean copy them. We're going to copy it down here to pictures. And it's the one ending in 205. So if we look at pictures, there's the 205. We come up to recent, and it's still there. So so even if it's in recent, you aren't quite sure where it is, you can put it where you want it to be. And then you have images, that it will find all of the images that you've taken. It'll show you all the videos that are on your local machine, and it'll show you all the photos that are on your machine, on your local machine. I hope I've shown you where you can find your files, whether they're on your local machine, your local computer, or whether they're out on the cloud, or again, as I mentioned earlier, I have an SD card. I can come down and look to see what's on my SD card, and I have some things here, and so if I go to here, I will see some information. So I can create folders and store some things out on my SD card. I could take that SD card out of my Chromebook, put it in my SD reader on my PC, and read the same files. Can't run any programs from the SD card, but you can store data there. So again, most of what you do will end up in your downloads folder on your Chromebook, and that's a temporary hold until you wipe your machine. If you do a power wash, anything that's in the downloads folder or in the play files will be erased. So you want to copy them over to your Google Drive if you want to keep them.